What's up, guys? It's Amanda from amandahenley.com. It's Woo Woo Wednesday, which is my favorite day of the week, and today I am super excited to go over how to create your own sacred space. I want to start off by saying I am by no means an expert on anything, really, but sacred space is something that has really helped me develop my self-care practice. It's something that I'm asked about all the time, and it's something that I'm super passionate about others experiencing and creating for themselves. So today I'm going to share with you just a few tips on how to create your own sacred space, no matter what space you have, no matter what objects you have, no matter what, you can create your own sacred space. For me, my sacred space started almost 10 years ago with a comfy chair in my living room and a crystal that sat on my side table. And every single morning I got up at 5 o'clock, I would set my coffee next to that crystal and I would read personal development. And that became my first really sacred space. It was someplace that I went every single day to focus on self-care, to focus on self-love, and to set my intention for the day. As my practice grew, obviously my sacred space grew. You can see I've got tons of crystals here. This chair has been through so much with me. This was actually the chair that we put in my son's nursery when he was born. So I spent so many hours nursing him in that chair. And that might be a pro, it might be a con, but I feel like the energy that's in that chair is super strong, and it represents something that I'm really proud of, something that I really wanted to do. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to, but nursing him really was something that I was proud of. So those hours and hours and hours that I spent in that chair really kind of wrap me in self-care and self-love and my love for my family. I did buy a new cover off of Etsy. This is I think it's called a Poing chair from IKEA. It's not very expensive, but it's one of the most comfy chairs I've ever had. It bounces a little bit. So I'm gonna say that's one of the very first important things about a sacred space is having somewhere comfortable to sit. Whether it's pillows on the floor, a special chair, a rocking chair, a couch, wherever that is for you, it needs to be someplace that you're comfortable being, because this is the place you're gonna go to really be the most yourself. As my practice grew and I got my own office space and I started to collect more crystals and card decks and things like that, obviously my space expanded. I now incorporate lots of crystals in my life. I'm gonna show you what that display looks like. But honestly, my deciding factor for what goes in my sacred space is how it makes me feel. And everything about a sacred space is about feeling, about intuition, and about how you feel. So everything in this space is here because it raises my vibration in some way. The crystals that I've chosen, the pictures, it's hard to see, but right above there is my vision board. I've got sage and all kinds of things that really just, their entire purpose is to raise my vibration. I'm gonna go through and show you some specifics. My abalone shell was something that I didn't have for a really long time. I've used sage for smudging for a really long time, and I just never had the shell, and I didn't realize that it was something that I was missing until I had it, and now it just feels like home. When I smudge and I have this in my hand, it feels like a completely different process. It feels like a ritual. It feels just completely different, and I love it. Also over here I have a feather, which I use when I'm smudging. That whole thing together, for some reason, just completely changed my smudging ritual, and I love the difference that it's made. I'll put a link in the description for the Etsy shop that I got these from. if you have a local place, I always recommend going local because you can go and you can touch and you can feel things and you can really make your decision based on how you're feeling. I also have this super cute box, and in the box I keep some other sage bundles. I've got so much sage. This is a special little bundle that I got off of one of my favorite Etsy shops. She makes the most gorgeous sage bundles, so I will put a link for that below. She really just puts so much love and care into every package that she sends out. I love having a little special box for it. It really just creates a nice atmosphere. My crystal collection has changed a lot over the years. It actually started with just this one massive one that was an amazing gift to me from one of my favorite mentors. Her name was Leela, and I was getting ready to move to Maryland to move in with my husband. He was my boyfriend at the time, but I was getting ready to move, and she gifted this to me. And I don't know how much it weighs, guys. It's gotta be like 20 pounds, but it is one of my most prized possessions. Sometimes when I'm feeling off, I will sit Indian style and just literally plop this in my lap, and it just radiates amazing energy. It's one of my most prized possessions. From there, guys, I just pick up crystals that make me feel good. I wait until, if I'm in a place that has crystals, I wait until I'm really drawn to something. I'm not a type of person that goes around just touching everything. I really wait to feel drawn to a specific crystal, and then I hold it, and if it makes me feel good, then I will purchase it. So yeah, those are my crystals. I use those. I put them in my bra every day. I put them in my pocket. I put them in my car. They're in my wallet. I use crystals for everything. And I'm not one of those people, I'm learning as I go. I'm not one of those people who knows what every crystal is for or what all of the benefits are. Again, I strictly go on feeling. And if it makes me feel good that day, it goes in my bra. Other thing I have a lot of in my sacred space are oracle decks. I love oracle decks, and each one has a very special meaning to me. Again, it's something that I don't purchase every single one I see. I wait until I feel drawn to it, and then I purchase it. Some of them I get off of Amazon. A lot of them I get in person at a bookstore or at a function of some sort. I have next to my chair, I have this little stand, and whatever decks I'm super drawn to in the moment, those always stay on my stand. Right now, that's the Akashic Tarot, which, mind-blowing. And then also the Archangel Tarot. This was recommended to me by a psychic medium friend, and it's completely changed my life. There's so many different ways that you can use oracle decks, and I will be doing a video on those shortly. When it's done, you can find it linked in the top. But I have all kinds of decks, some that are fun, some that are serious, some that I just like the pictures. Here, I'll show you. Lots of decks. And I love to come up in my office. I love to choose one at random or choose whatever one I'm drawn to and then just pick a card. I bless my family with love. Amazing, right? Like what a fantastic thought in the middle of my day. The last thing that's included in my sacred space is books. I'm a book fiend, guys. I read personal development every single day. I have for probably about 5 years. So every book that means something to me is stacked in this bookcase. I collect books. I love the feeling of books. I do have some like on Audible and things like that, which are great for on the go, but there is nothing like holding a book in your actual hand. So I keep books, I reread books. Sometimes I feel drawn to go back to a book and I just open it to a page and read whatever is there for the day. But books are a huge part of my soul, and they make me feel so good and warm and fuzzy. So books are also a big part of my sacred space. So that is my sacred space, guys. I guess my tips for you today is number one, to find a place that you can be quiet. Sometimes, depending on your living situation, that might actually include a time of day. For me in the beginning, it was 5 a.m. and that is something that has continued. When I wake up at 5 and I start my day at 5 in my sacred space, my entire day goes a lot more smoothly. Find a comfy place to sit, whether it's a chair, a pillow, something leaning up against a wall, something supporting your back, someplace where you can sit and be quiet and really tune in to what your body and your energy is trying to talk to you about. Fill it up with things that make you feel fantastic. There is not room in this space for anything chaotic. There's not room in this space for anything that causes a disruption in my energy. Every single thing in this space is here to raise my vibration. So you want to be very, very picky about what you put there. If you're not sure, it doesn't belong there. And lastly, allow your space to grow. There is going to come a time where you want to add to your space. You want to add more crystals or add more pictures or add another vision board, or you want to add more books or tarot decks. Make sure that at some point you may feel differently. What might work as your sacred space today may not work a year from now, a month from now. So just keep in mind that you're attached to the process of having a sacred space, not legitimately to the space itself. I hope that those tips helped you. This is my sacred space. It is my favorite place in my entire house. I hope that this helps you create a sacred space of your own and a self-love practice. If this is your first time here, please consider subscribing. I post new content weekly, and I love sharing this side of myself. Thanks for joining me. I hope your day is jam-packed full of love and light, and I'll see you next week.